You might find yourself in a situation where you or someone you know has a cut or for whatever reason is bleeding. So if you don't have access to anything that you can use as a compress or to cauterize the wound, what can you do to be of help? How can you stop that bleeding? Hello friends, today I'm going to share with you a technique that is truly amazing and for which you need nothing, absolutely nothing to stop bleeding from any part of your skin. In fact, it is said to be effective even in the case of internal bleeding. Now, there are things that you need to be careful about, and I will share those later after I tell you about the technique. The technique is like this. So you have to use your right hand and place it, if you can, over the area of the wound, the cut, and your left hand on top of your right hand. There has to be a gentle contact. No pressure, no scraping, no rubbing is necessary. Just a gentle placement and just hover your hands over the wound. Now it's possible that you may not be able to put your hands over the wound directly. In that situation, it is completely all right and okay to use another part of the body to put your hands over. Keep your hands like this for about 1 to 3 minutes and you'll be surprised that in that duration, after you take off your hands, you will find that the bleeding stops. I have used this technique myself twice, and in the first situation my son got a deep gash as he fell on the escalator at the airport. I immediately applied this technique over the gash, the cut that he had received, and before the blood could even reach the ankle, the bleeding stopped. It was actually a really deep cut and it needed stitches. After we reached the destination, he had to be given stitches. So you can imagine that the bleeding would have continued for a while. And I had no compress, nothing at that point, at the airport, and all I knew was this technique. Now, the things that you need to be careful about: there should not be any metal on the body. So I immediately took off all my jewelry that I was wearing, the earrings, the necklace, the ring, and even glasses. If they are metallic, they need to be taken off. There should not be any belt, any kind of accessory, even underwires or wiring in undergarments should not be worn. So, and cotton clothing is preferred. That's because this actually technique depends on what's called the bioelectromagnetic flow in the body. According to physics, everything that is there in the universe has electromagnetic energy. That is because everything is made of matter which has vibrating particles. So this electromagnetic energy in the body is called bioelectromagnetic energy, and it moves all through the body like a current. When this current flows freely, we have good health. Now, modern medicine, like many other things, has not been able to explain or show the presence of this bioelectromagnetic current. But it is a well-established and recognized fact in the health practices of India and many countries of the East. Prana or life current is in fact foundational to all of its healing protocols. And they all work towards restoring the free flow of this current in our body and removing all that disrupts this flow. So what is the connection of our fingers and hands to this current? That is because both our hands have different polarities. The right hand has positive polarity and the left hand has negative polarity. Just like current can flow only in a closed electric circuit, similarly, when we keep our fingers on different points in our body for different conditions, the circuit, so to speak, closes. A push is given to this current, to this bioelectromagnetic force. There is different duration for which we have to keep our hands for different conditions. But in case of bleeding, the effects can be seen in a matter of seconds, like I said, in 1 to 3 minutes. Now, the second time I used this technique was when another child who had a cut on the finger, and I did the same thing. I just put my right hand directly over the cut on the finger and I put my left hand over the right hand. And after, it was just simply mind-blowing, after I took off my hands, there was absolutely no trace of any blood on that finger. Now, this technique is attributed to a Japanese called Jiro Murai, who lived in the early part of the 20th century. And it is said that at the age of 26, he fell really seriously sick, so much so that no one in his family who were doctors could actually heal him, and it was believed that his end was near. So he just went into the forest to spend the last few whatever days that were left of his life. And there, it's not clear how he learned the technique, but he did apply this technique. He used his fingers, hands on the parts of the body, and within a week, it is said that he actually returned from the forest all healthy and well. Now, there is no harm, no side effects, no cost to using this method. All you need is your hands and no metal on the body, because we know that metal affects the flow of current. So go ahead and give it a try, and I'll be happy if you share your experiences here. Thank you and namaskar.